Coming up on Tech Thing, back up before the hurricane, the fire, or somebody steals your laptop. Can Upright Go keep you from slouching your way to pain in front of the monitor? The best Wi-Fi router under $100, back to school headphones, and more. It's all coming up on Tech Thing. Thank you, patrons. Without your support via patreon.com/techthing, we wouldn't be able to make the show for you each and every week. Join the crew that makes Tech Thing possible at patreon.com/techthing.
I'm Shannon Morse.
I'm Patrick Norton.
And this is Tech Thing, where we have something useful in every single show.
Yes, we do.
Yes, especially today, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. A few years ago, a viewer asked why I was so paranoid about backing up and backing up off-site. And I said, I live in earthquake country. My folks live on an island that floods regularly. My aunt lost her house to a fire. And I'm not even going to get into the number of stolen laptop stories I've heard over the years.
Yeah.
And Houston just got hammered by a storm just like New York City did a few years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. And the rule for keeping your data safely backed up is 3, 2, 1. I know we've said it several different times, but that's 3 copies on 2 different mediums. At least one of those is off-site, which is why we were talking about crash plan alternatives last week. Backing up gigabytes of data, whether it's your family photos or your business data, which is super important, your music collection, whatever it might be, it's going to take you a lot of time to back that up.
Now, having family that gets hammered by hurricanes every couple of years, you might have a couple days warning that a hurricane's working its way towards you.
Right.
But most data loss situations don't give you a heads up. Lightning strikes generally don't go, couple days, gonna hit the house, wipe out the electricity, just wanted to give you a chance to back up. Yeah? Right. So backing up is important, and backing up offsite is important.
Yes.
Because if the data is not in your laptop, if your laptop gets stolen, you still have a copy of the data. Well, if you have a copy of the data on your laptop, the data on your laptop's still stolen, but you get what I'm saying here, right?
Yeah.
If you can't do SpiderOak or Backblaze or Tarsnap or Dropbox or Box or any of the 32,000 other online options, start simple. Get onto Amazon, go to your local Best Buy, get a USB 3.0 flash drive from SanDisk or Samsung, put your data on that, put it in a Ziploc bag or a waterproof box, store it in a safe deposit box, the office, your parents' house, your friend's house.
Well, they should probably make sure that their friend doesn't live like right next door in case they both get flooded.
Or get hit with a tornado.
Right. Or maybe there's a big fire and the fire jumps from one house to another. Or if you're in an apartment complex and there's a fire there, like your stuff could still end up damaged if you put it in your neighbor's house. So you should think about that, what you are backing up to. Your data is going to be a lot more important than if you wanted to back up your operating system like Windows or Linux.
Yeah.
Luckily, in this day and age, it's pretty easy to reinstall and re-image your operating system. You can create a Windows 10 or a Linux or a Mac
OS
installation.
10. Yeah.
Right. The media is very easy. You can just stick it on a flash drive and reinstall, which is great.
I mean, we've had a lot of questions about, like, you know, should I do I want to do a bit for bit copy of my hard drive and restore from that. If you're in a production environment, I think that makes sense. If you are, you know, like if I'm testing products and I want to, you know, every week I'm going to blow out the computer and reinstall this operating system and this application and this settings. That's one thing. Generally speaking, most of the things that's going to make you go, wow, I have bit rot. Wow, I think I had a virus. Wow, something has gone horribly wrong. I would prefer you went to bare metal and reinstalled your operating system. It's a pain in the ass, I know, but I think it's the best thing to do. With that in mind, especially if your hard drive crashes, if your computer crashes, if something gets stolen, have your product keys for your operating system and your favorite software stored somewhere.
Luckily, the nice part about Linux is that you don't need a software key because it's free and you can download it for free online. Of course, donations are always possible with open source software. But with Windows 10 or with other operating systems, it is very important to keep those product keys because you might not be able to recover them if your old machine gets stolen or if you have a fire or something like that.
It's always awkward.
Yes. Also, before you start backing up your data online, figure out what you are backing up, whether it's irreplaceable photos, of which, of course, I think are way more important than like 40 gigabytes of music from Spotify, because you can always just re-download that later. You can't do the same thing with your photography. And how much are you going to back up? Will it blow through your data cap? For example, Patrick found out several months ago that Comcast...
a couple days ago, actually. Well,
Comcast will let you blow through your
Yeah.
data cap twice before they start charging you. But there's a really easy way that you can figure out what kind of data is on your computer with software such as this one.
One of my favorite applications, Space Sniffer. This basically analyzes your hard drive and tells you what's on there. It's a really great deal to look at something like this before you start backing up online. For example, you can't see it right now, but I discovered I had 40 gigabytes a couple days ago of Apple lossless audio on this laptop.
Whoa.
Which I erased because I don't need it on this laptop and I don't entirely know how it got on this laptop. The other thing I noticed on this laptop is like, oh goodness, there's 33 gigabytes of pictures that I backed up, 25 of which are off of my phone, and this is the only copy of them in the universe. So I need to back those up.
Yeah, that's concerning.
So, and think about that, right? Do you want, there are lots of places to back up photos depending on whether or not you want them accessible to lots of people or if you just want them backed up yourself. This is going, basically, I'm going to run Backblaze on this, and it's going to hoover all of this data up onto Backblaze's server, and I know it's all copied, but there may be better ways to store that data.
Yes.
Start thinking about it. But the first thing you do is, whether it's a thumb drive, an external drive from Western Digital or Seagate, start getting a second copy of your data and get a copy of it off-site.
And another question to ask is, do you trust the company that is hosting your data? Do you trust that hackers will not eventually break into everything online? If you're like me and you don't trust anybody, you probably want to use something like SpiderOak, which I also mentioned last week. Because your data is encrypted by default, they have a zero-knowledge policy. If you are on another service, such as Backblaze, for example, they don't have that zero-knowledge policy. For example, if you check out their settings, their security policy, it says, for computer backup, your files are automatically encrypted by default on your computer before being sent to Backblaze, but the thing to remember here is Backblaze retains a copy of the encryption key to make data recovery possible if you forget your passport. However, you can choose to keep the only copy of the key if you prefer. So you have to change that in the settings if you want them to have that zero knowledge.
So, and it's pretty easy. You go into Backblaze Preferences, you scroll over to Security, and you create a private encryption key.
Yay!
Remember, if you lose that key, they are not kidding when they say you can't recover your data.
Yep.
I mean, if you have access to like the NSA servers, maybe. For everybody else on the planet, assume it's gone if you lose that password. So don't lose the password.
Yeah. And everybody, I know that we keep on preaching this over and over and over again, but it is really so, so important. With everything that's being digitized in this day and age, it's so important to have that 3-2-1 backup. Have 3 copies, 2 different media, 1 offsite.
Because, hey, if you do lose the password to your online backup and you can't get into that data ever again, if you have another copy of it locally, you can start all over again.
Yes, then you're good.
Because accidents happen.
Yep.
And start those backups today.
Yep.
There are tens of thousands of y'all watching, and I guarantee we'll get at least one email from somebody that loses their data next week, and the emails go one of 2 ways. Crap, I should have backed up when you talked about it last week, or oh my God, thank you, I backed up my stuff last week, and this week this happened. I swear to goodness, every time we talk about this on the show, we get an email like that.
And for everybody that was in the hurricane's direction, please stay safe, and I hope that everybody that's watching this got out of the way of the hurricane while it was there.
And a quick shout out to my boy Mark, who has been wandering around rescuing people in the hurricane this week.
Wow.
Well done.
Shout out to Mark.
Yeah. Proper ergonometrics means less pain, especially back pain when you work at a desk for hours. Proper ergo means you need to, well, actually have posture. You need to stop slouching. You need to put your hands in the right place. But one of the tough ones is sitting upright in front of the monitor. And how do you stop slouching? Would you believe there's a Kickstarter just to stop you and your slouchy ways?
It's true. Of course there is. Because, you know, we want technology to fix everything in our lives. So there was a Kickstarter that went on. You can now pre-order this little device. It's called the Upright Go. And this tiny little thing is supposed to help you have better posture. So you can currently get this on pre-order for $79. It is going to increase in price to $99 after pre-orders. Basically, it is supposed to train you over time to have a better posture by giving you vibrational feedback through the teeny tiny device. And this is what the device looks like. It has adhesive on one side, so you stick this on your back, on your spine. Not on your clothes. You stick this on your skin.
My face, so we were talking about this, and Shannon's like, you don't want to put that on your back. I'm like, well, it goes on your shirts. He's like, no, it goes on your skin. And I was like,
he went like this. Ugh.
Because all I can think is like, this is how we start as a cyborg. First, it's a little RFID chip in between your thumb and forefinger. It's gluing something to your spine, and suddenly you're jacked into the Matrix copper top.
It is very matrixy. So basically, you turn it on. And then you stick it on your back. So I'll put it on my back, on my spine. And you do this every morning.
Every morning?
Yes. And then you stand up straight to calibrate it. You hit it once. And then you know it's been calibrated because it'll vibrate twice. So you stick it on your back, it'll start tracking your posture based on its tilt, forwards or backwards. So you can wear it either way. You can wear it upside down or right side up, it doesn't matter. So if you put it on this way or this way, nobody cares. Anytime you slouch over, it will start to vibrate until you sit back up straight.
So is it vibrate like dog collar shock vibrate?
No,
or is it like
it does
more
not
subtle?
shock you. It is subtle. You can turn up the vibration feedback so it's a little stronger.
Because you're going to
but it does
ignore
not
after the
shock
first
you.
one.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that because I have been shocked by a dog collar because apparently you can hack those, and we were trying it out because apparently that works. So as somebody whose grandma seriously yells at her for slouching all the time, I find this to be a very interesting device and wondered if it actually worked or if it was just a gimmick, because things can be a gimmick whenever you see them online. So posture issues can be very problematic as they can create pain, they can create back issues later on in life along with other problems. You might have posture issues for various reasons. You might have posture issues because of other health concerns, several years of sitting at a desk wrong, etc., etc.
Playing rugby for 9 years.
Disclaimer, I am not a health professional, so if you do need advice and if you are seeking advice, go to a medical professional for that information.
Go to your primary care provider and work out a plan.
So the device comes with this nice little travel box. In the box it ships in, it comes with a USB charger. It is micro USB, so you can always just use a charger that you have at home too, which is great. It does come with other adhesive strips because eventually these will wear out, and alcohol cleaning pads so that you can clean them off if you do get them dirty.
I'm laughing because nobody wants to duct tape their cyborg sensor to the back of their neck. Or back.
Well, it feels gross. You probably don't want to touch it.
I've
it
touched
feels gross,
similar things.
but it doesn't leave residue on you, which is nice because sometimes things will leave a residue and it's sticky and nasty, but this does not, so that's good.
It's Bluetooth?
It is Bluetooth, yes.
iOS and Android.
Yeah, iOS and Android. When I first connected it through Bluetooth, it's 4.0, their servers were down at the time. So this must have only been a short maintenance thing because I was on and connected about 3 minutes after that. So it was just like randomly their servers were down when I was first setting this up. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's odd. Bad review, but they were set up in like 3 minutes after that, so it was fine. You create an account, you calibrate your upright go, and then you can set vibrations to high, medium, or low depending on how sensitive you are. You can set the sensitivity higher or lower, so if you have a very minor slouch and you want that to be picked up, you can set the sensitivity higher. If you have a very big slouch and you don't care if it notices a small slouch, you can set that sensitivity to be lower. So it will only vibrate whenever you go to a certain slouching measurement for your back.
And you don't actually have to have the app running and connected to the upright go.
Yeah, you can just turn it on, you can put it on your back. I don't have it connected right now, but I had it turned on and I was calibrated and I was starting it in training mode. So it's very easy to set up even if you don't have your smartphone on you. So you might be wondering what training mode is. You do get 2 modes. You choose track or train. So tracking just tracks your slouching throughout the day, and then it gives you vibrational feedback. Anytime that you slouch, it will be saved into the application for you to check later so that you can see if you have increased your posture over time. The training option allows you to give yourself a goal each day to improve. So you can sit up straight for 5 minutes, you can then sit up straight for 10 minutes the next day, and so on and so forth. You can also work in rests if you want to, since sitting up straight does work out your core if you are a sloucher like I am.
Especially if you're on a yoga ball.
Oh yes. Oh, that's a good point. That'd be even better workout. So the battery will last only 2 days, which is a very short time, and the adhesive will stay sticky for several weeks. I've only had this for about a week, so I can't tell you if the sticky actually lasts for several weeks, but since it's still sticking, I'm going to say that it probably does. It is not waterproof, which also means that you can't get sweat into the charging port. So I've been wearing it with the charging port down just in case I get sweaty.
It gets hot here in the warehouse.
Yeah, it gets really hot.
We glisten.
So you might be wondering if it actually works, and I would say yes, but it really comes down to your motivation, your motivational style. If you really want to change your posture, if you aren't motivated to put it on in the morning, if you aren't steadfast about charging it every 2 days, that's a big deal, then it's not going to help you, obviously.
It's a lot like Couch to 5K.
Yes.
If you don't get out and run every day, the brilliantly configured
you ain't gonna change.
Yeah.
The vibrations are strong enough to feel. They do increase your awareness of your posture. It kept reminding me to sit up throughout this day whenever I was using it. And I was like, whoa, this is interesting.
Much easier on Grandma than having her call you every 5 minutes. Be like,
oh my gosh.
Shannon, stop slouching.
Oh, well, she has a southern accent. So she goes, Shannon, you need to sit up straight and stop slouching. That's how she says
Slouching.
it. Slouching. So I've only used it for a few days. I think it would be a positive habit forming, whether it takes you 30 days or 60 days or a year. It could have a positive change on your life, but it really does come down to your motivation and how much you are willing to change your posture.
Thoughts on ergonometrics and posture and the internet of stuff that is slowly gluing its way into our lives? Email ask@techthing.com. Got a question for us to answer? Do you want to see us review something? Got a tip or an idea you want to share with the whole Tech Thing crew? Please fire them out to ask@techthing.com, or you can tweet @techthing, @snubs, or @Patrick Norton. And hey, if you want to be part of the crew that makes Tech Thing possible, please contribute to the show at patreon.com/techthing.
We got an email from Jason who writes, "Help! My kid starts school next week and I just found out he needs to bring headphones. He's going into kindergarten. I'm kind of interested in what your opinion is of a 4-year-old wearing headphones, and if you have any suggestions on what I should be looking for. Regards from Jason."
Oh my goodness.
That's a little weird. A kindergarten with headphones?
I don't know. So, okay. I'll try to keep this short and sweet.
Yeah, you have the kids, so you should take this.
I'm down with this. I have been putting headphones on my children since they were very, very small, 2 or 3 years old, because it allows them to do things like play with a tablet without irritating everybody else in the house. When I was in school, this was the height. It was like this and film projectors.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is a film strip projector, and the teacher would either read or play a vinyl LP along with the film strip projector in a non-ironical fashion. Not wearing plaid, vintage Pendleton, not with a beard. That's just what the technology was. I feel so old saying that. Who knows what kind of one-on-one tablet learning your child's school has in store for them? I would talk to their teacher about that. We've used Starfall and other apps in our house to teach reading. They do art stuff. There's all sorts of extraordinary applications available for children to use. And because of the recent flood of lice scares over the last few years, they probably don't want the kids sharing headphones, hence them asking you to bring the child's headphone in. Having a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old, I do have one major concern with headphones. Even before they're teenagers, children have a habit of turning up the volume, and then they turn up the volume. And eventually the volume is turned all the way up, which can permanently damage their hearing over time. Hearing loss is accumulative, so 8 hours a day of listening at moderately high volumes can do just as much damage over time as, say, listening to The Who at 115 decibels for 3 minutes, which will basically kill you, but that's a whole nother story. There are a lot of options for headphones out there. If you're really, really sure the teachers are going to keep an eye on this, or the teacher assures you that they have some sort of system to keep the whatever, if you're feeling trusting, or you can keep like your eye on the kid and lock the volume down to like 50% on the phone or the tablet, Monoprice is $83.23, costs $16, has shockingly good audio quality. It's not the most comfortable headset, but it'll fit on a small head, and you can basically throw it down a flight of stairs, pick it up, and use it all over again. And it has a detachable cable, so if they rip the cable out, you just plug another one in. If protecting your child's hearing is paramount, and you don't want to look over the shoulder every few minutes, one of the best options out there is from a company called Puro. We've talked about their headphones before. These are the BT2200. They are outstanding. They use a Bluetooth connection. There's an onboard amp, and the amp is capped at 85 decibels. No matter how loud they turn up the volume on the device, these are going to pump out a maximum of 85 dB. The audio quality is great. They look good. They've got lots of color options. 85 dB is fine for an hour a day at max volume, and probably they'll be listening at lower levels, and that's safer for longer periods of time. Be conservative about this because it's kind of like lead.
Yeah.
It used to be like, well, lead's a problem. We have no idea what the minimal possible safe. Basically, like, teach your kids to keep the volume down so they don't destroy their hearing, because a disturbing percentage of young people have really bad hearing problems, basically just from listening to earbuds and headphones. These cost about $100. They have over 18 hours of battery life. They have excellent audio quality.
Cool.
They're $100, but hearing is really, really hard to replace. So if you're feeling paranoid, they're a great option. If your kindergarten wants wires or can't do Bluetooth, and I can't imagine having to manage Bluetooth across like 25 different kids or 15 kids or whatever the class size is, Puro packs a wire for the headphones. Here's the thing you need to watch for. If you connect it in backwards, there's an end that says, put this end towards the headphones, it will not reduce the volume. Like most passive volume reduction headphones, and there's a whole lot of them for sale out there, the cable basically acts as a resistor. So if the amplifier on the device they're listening to is strong enough, they can manage to turn the volume up loud enough to make this go over the magic 85 dB number. So
you want to watch out for that.
You want to watch out for that. The crew at the Wirecutter, Lauren Dragon and everybody over there, did an amazing write-up called "The Best Kids Headphones." Lauren and Brent they're amazing. They are incredible audio reviewers. Lauren's got kids. Brent's got a head testing unit for headphone levels. Their pick was a Bureau BT2200. They have some, if your child has smaller heads, On-and-Off's Buddy phones is a good alternative, but as they grow bigger, they will not fit in those anymore. The next runner-up, JLab J-Buddy Studio, is no longer for sale, unfortunately. If you're looking for alternatives, check this chart way down. This is great information, by the way, on hearing damage and avoiding it, which I highly recommend if your children love music, you check out. So they actually went through and listed the results of all of the headphones they looked at. And something you'll notice is a lot of these headphones these are all great. This is getting into the dangerous territory. A lot of these headphones didn't really, they go up high, 107.6 dB, 110.5 dB, 112 dB. That is really bad for short.
Yeah.
That will damage hearing permanently fairly quickly. So just because
and some of those are all of them are kids.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, just because it's for kids doesn't mean they're actually paying attention to the volume levels they're hitting. And one of the things they found out in their testing is some of the headphones that said they were volume limiting aren't. So this is a fantastic resource if you're looking for an option to keep your children's hearing safe.
Cool.
Just saying. We'll have links to all those in the show notes. And if you got a question about audio stuff, I always love to hear it. Tweet at Patrick Norton or email ask@techthing.com.
David sent us a question to ask@techthing.com. He says, I was thinking about replacing my Linksys E3000 router and was wondering what would be a good replacement that's under $100. Thanks, you guys rock, from David. And you rock too, David. Yeah, you rock star. Yeah.
Oh, man. This is probably going to be my staple answer for a really, really long time. TP-Link's Archer C7 wireless dual-band gigabit router. $85, tough to beat. 11,504 customer reviews on Amazon, averaging 4 stars. It's been for sale for a while, and it just doesn't seem to die.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, I mean, it was my home router pretty much until I started experimenting with the mesh routers, and yeah, see, I purchased this item on October 3rd, 2015.
And it's still running.
Yeah, and the mesh routers did interesting things, like I can now actually get Wi-Fi in my garage, which is behind the house.
Yay!
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got reviews of mesh routers coming next week, starting with the new Eero 2 versus the original Eero.
Disclaimer, Eero is sponsoring Hack Tip, so Patrick will be doing that review.
Eero is not sponsoring me.
Nope.
Nope. So if you got mesh router questions, fire them out to ask@techthing.com. We're going to look at those two, then we're going to look at some of the other options, and we're going to compare those to a properly located single router in the center of the house.
Yeah.
Ask@techthing.com.
Speaking of replacing crash plans, several different folks emailed about Tarsnap as an option for power users. Jeff summed it up pretty nicely. He says, Backblaze has a cloud option, it's called B2 Cloud Storage, with metered pricing in case $5 a month is too steep. Couple this with something like Duplicity for Linux, and you have compressed, encrypted backups for a low cost. While many of my Linux friends use Backblaze, I discovered Tarsnap. This bills itself as online backups for the truly paranoid. It is run by Colin Percival, who was the FreeBSD security officer for a number of years and the creator of scrypt, RFC 7914. So the encryption is likely very good. It is a command line utility and works everywhere from Windows via Cygwin, but it's obviously not for everyone. The command set is as close to tar as possible with additions specific to the service. And your backup machine does not need to store the recovery key, which should be in a safe somewhere, because the client-side code splits out a write-only key that can only create backups. So if the machine is compromised, the attacker can't touch your Amazon S3 backups. It should go without saying that all encryption happens on the client, but a truly paranoid user would want to be sure. Tarsnap pricing works out to about 25 cents per gigabyte. Note that's actual storage space. Tarsnap uses deduplication to shrink your data first. As an example, a 350 gig archive of email deduplicates down to about 5.7 gigs for a monthly storage cost of $1.50. There's a Yahoo talk from the Michigan BSD users group. I won't link it here, but search Tarsnap Michael Lucas and you will find the video that started me down this path. Tarsnap.com is the place to go for more details and great illustrations. Great show, always worth watching, from Jeff in San Diego. Whew! That was a long email.
Yeah, but there's a lot of information in there. So.
Yeah, actually, tar is really fun to use. I've done an example of how to use tar on Hacktip, but I've never gotten into Tarsnap, and it sounds reasonable and very easy.
Tarsnap.com, like the man said, is the website, and yeah, I love the great. Like, there's just so much information in here. So much information. Oh my goodness.
So good.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And to everybody, remember, once in a while, put down your phone, step away from the screen, do something analog. Like Steven, who writes white water rafting on the Ocoee in Tennessee.
Nice.
I'm in the middle on the right. I had that same goofy expression on my face the entire trip. Also did a zipline tour while visiting Helen, Georgia, and I may have eaten all the pastries in Helen.
In honor of the pastries in Helen, Georgia, I have a picture of the pastries in Helen, Georgia. Well, I have a picture of pastries. These are all, who knows where these are.
White water rafting. I need to do that. My grandma did that recently.
White water rafting is awesome. Also very wet.
Yeah, it sounds fun. That's a GoPro moment right there.
Yes, it is. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you next week on Tech Thing.
Like this?
Careful. You don't want to get makeup on it.
I just did. Oh, ew, gross.
Wine country.
We're gonna go on the Ocoee in Tennessee.
I just,
y'all.
Now I'm thinking of you jumping out of a plane and, like, you know how they always, like, when the golden eagles land and they always look so stylish.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know,
that'll be me. I'll just be like, woo, yeah, and then I'll like
winery?
fall flat on my face.
Hate that. And of course, then it'll be up on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Look at this dork that landed in the winery.
I'll be like, just make sure you tag me so I get all the follows. I'm ready for some wine. Woo!
Oh my goodness. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for supporting us by patreon.com/techthing.
Yay!